Hi, this is Hal Lindsey, your Watchman on the Wall. I have a Watchman Warning that I think reveals something very, very dangerous, and one I think we all ought to be praying about. Tony Blair kind of summed up the fervor and the strength with which the U.S. and the quartet, so-called, are pushing to make Israel accept a two-state solution and establish a state of Palestine. Tony Blair, envoy for U.S.-led Quarter of Middle East mediators, revealed on Wednesday that the group will soon present a framework for ramming through the creation of a Palestinian state. Already, there has been set up in Washington as they received President Perez of Israel, and they expect to receive in a couple of days Prime Minister Netanyahu. They have set up a regular barrage of things to show Netanyahu that they want them to immediately accept a peace agreement with the Palestinians as is in place, and to establish a state of Israel. And all of this seems to be oblivious to the facts as they are. No one seems to be factoring in what the Palestinians are openly saying and what the Iranians are openly declaring they're going to do, and yet they want Israel to accept this. Hamas overall leader Khaled Mashal on Monday said that his group wants to alter the terms of the current Land for Peace process and to offer Israel a 10-year ceasefire instead of a guaranteed peace. A 10-year ceasefire. In an interview with the New York Times at his home in Damascus, Mashal said, "We are with a state in the 1967 borders based on long-term truce. This includes East Jerusalem, the dismantling of settlements, and the right of return of the Palestinian refugees." When asked what he meant by long-term, Mashal said 10 years. Mashal further clarified that the peace agreement he envisioned does not include him or any other Palestinian recognizing Israel's right to exist, and certainly not exist as a Jewish state. Well, after completely modifying the agreement, he said that this is something that they will demand. And the Times newspaper, after that interview, went out and said this. The Times and other international left-wing media headlined their coverage of this interview by declaring that Hamas was on board with a two-state solution, a purported breakthrough toward peace. That wasn't a breakthrough toward peace. That was asking Israel not only to accept terms that they couldn't possibly accept, with the gift of all of Jerusalem, giving them all of the highland and so forth, and the West Bank and so forth, but also to accept this with them not even recognizing Israel's right to exist as a state. And to top it all off, to say that they would only guarantee a 10-year truce, not a lasting peace. So here they get all of the land they need to stage a war on Israel with the kind of terrain that's necessary for them to wipe Israel out. Israel would have no defensible borders, and they have the audacity to say this is what they're going to demand. And the way that Washington and the rest of the quartet are forcing Israel to enter this peace agreement, it looks like they're going to try to force them to accept all of these things. Now, I think we need to step back and to see the bedrock source of how all Muslims feel about the Jews. Here's some statements that are from the sacred books of Islam and the thing that guides the devout Muslim. Muhammad said in the Hadith, "The resurrection of the dead will not come until the Muslims will war with the Jews, and the Muslims will kill them. The trees and rocks will say, 'O Muslim, here's a Jew behind me. Come and kill me.'" In another very more up-to-date statement, Al-Riyad Saud, who is the founder of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, said, "The power struggle between Israel and the Arabs is a long-term historical trial. Victory or defeat are for us questions of existence or annihilation, the outcome of an irreconcilable hatred." You know, this is a book that I wrote 3 years ago. It's more up to date today, more necessary for everyone to read than ever before. It's called The Everlasting Hatred, and I got that statement from the irreconcilable hatred and what it says in Jeremiah, that it's an irreconcilable hatred. And there's no way to stop this hatred. Hamas leader, Mashal, "The war is open until Israel ceases to exist and until the last Jew in the world is eliminated." This is the kind of thing, the kind of attitude that they have. And making peace with them is folly. Even if they can get agreements, they are held by this religious faith to be not keeping any kind of a peace agreement with Israel. Ahmadinejad has said that he intends to annihilate Israel. One of the generals, in fact, he's not one of the generals, he's the top general of Iran, General Ayatollah Salehi, commander of the Iranian army, said in a televised interview, "I don't think we will need more than 11 days to wipe Israel out of existence." With all of these things in place, I believe we need to really pray, because it seems that President Obama doesn't take seriously anything from the Bible, because it says that God will bless those who bless Israel and God will curse those who curse Israel. I believe one of the reasons the United States has continued to exist as long as it has against great odds is because we have been a protector of Israelis' right to exist and of the Jews' right to exist. And that kept this covenant that God made with all the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I believe we're pushing them into an impossible situation which they will not be able to defend. And unless our prayers and our efforts stop them, I greatly fear for the United States. We're already being disciplined as never before. And with this situation we're in right now, with our worldwide economic problems, catastrophes, that's just the beginning. So let us pray that God will turn this around. This is your Watchman on the Wall for this issue today, and I'll be back to report more soon.